What is up, everyone? Welcome back to my channel, the #1 place for new coaches, content creators, and entrepreneurs. In today's video, I really want to share with you 10 real productivity hacks that I use in order to keep myself efficient as a super busy entrepreneur. Now, I'm going to be the first to tell you here that I am not the type of entrepreneur who wakes up at 5 a.m., walks my dog, meditates, journals, does my affirmations, works out all before 10 a.m. I simply am not wired for that. However, I've managed to be able to run my business efficiently, still fit personal development, and also manage to find time to stay consistent when it comes to creating content on YouTube and on Instagram and even on Facebook. So if you want to learn my tips and tricks on how I stay productive, even as someone who is really busy and also a little bit naturally lazy, then keep on watching. Now, to kick off this video, the first question that I want to answer when it comes to productivity is, Vanessa, I noticed that you are a very busy person. You're running a business and you're a content creator and you have clients and you have students. How do you actually manage to find time for personal development? How do you find time to take courses? How do you find time to read your books and all of that? Now, to answer that question, I have a lot of tools and hacks up my sleeve, but the first tool that I want to mention to you guys is an app called Blinkist. And Blinkist is actually a sponsor for today's video. And you all know how picky I am when it comes to sponsorships and the apps that I recommend to you guys. However, this is the first time that I actually found a partner that I like, that I use, and that I would recommend. Now, like I mentioned earlier, I am not just a business owner, but I'm also a coach, a content creator, a course educator, and all of that. And it gets really busy in my life. However, on the flip side, I have a wish list of books that I always want to read, and I can never find time to truly read the full book. That's why I really like to use the app Blinkist, because what it does is that it condenses the most popular nonfiction books into 15 minutes only. And I love this because by doing so, it cuts out all the fluff that you see in books and it gets straight to the point so that I can get a good summary of what all these books are about. As someone who is super busy, lately I realized that I don't really have a lot of time to even listen to podcast episodes that are 30 to 60 minutes long. And so what I do is I listen to books off Blinkist because it's only 15 minutes. No book generally goes over 15 minutes. And it's so structured and to the point that within those 15 minutes, you are guaranteed to learn something. Now, as you can see, there are tons of categories and books for you to choose from. And even for me, I like to use Blinkist to reread some of the books that I've read in the past in order to get the quick 15-minute refresher so I never forget the key concepts. Some of my favorite books are Grant Cardone's 10X Rule, Tim Ferriss's 4-Hour Work Week, Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich, so many classics and also new books that you can find within Blinkist. Now, since this video is sponsored by Blinkist, we wanted to give a gift to you guys, meaning that the first 100 people who click the link in my description box below, you're not just gonna get 7 days of unlimited free access to Blinkist that you can cancel anytime, but you're also gonna get 25% off if you choose to invest in the full membership. So again, if you really wanna try this awesome app out, then make sure you click the link in my description box below. Now, speaking of condensing information and making sure that you are fitting personal development in your busy schedule, the second hack or tool that I have to share with you is speeding up your videos. Now, a tool that I want to recommend to you is a Google Chrome plugin called Video Speed Controller. And what this does is that it allows me to speed up any type of video that I see on the internet, whether it's on YouTube, whether it's on someone's website, whether it's in a course, whether it's on Facebook. I'm able to speed up this video at whatever pace that I want. Now, you might be wondering, what does speeding videos have anything to do with being productive? Well, for me, it allows me to take courses twice as fast. It allows me to consume content twice as fast so that I can consume even more content that's going to improve my learning. And by doing this, it's allowed me to really learn a lot faster and be able to fit this type of learning within my busy schedule. Now, obviously, if you are someone who prefers the pace to be a little bit slower and you find that maybe some courses or even maybe my videos are a little bit too fast for you, you can always adjust the speed using Video Controller as well so that it's adapted to your pace of learning. Now, beyond Video Speed Controller, even within your YouTube settings, you can do this. And for a lot of courses, you can do it as well. But I do like having this plugin because it's universally adapted and any video on any website, I'm able to speed up or slow down. Now, so far in this video, I've shared with you apps like Blinkist, I've shared with you apps like Video Speed Controller in order for you to consolidate your learning and be able to speed up the process when it comes to personal development hacking. Now, the next productivity tool that I have is a little bit of a controversial one, but that is buying an Amazon Alexa. Now, I know that a lot of people do not want to buy Amazon Alexas because they're worried that Amazon is listening to their conversations and their privacy and all of that. But I actually bought an Amazon Alexa myself and I've been loving it. Now, there are a lot of ways that you can use your Amazon Alexa, and right here I have the Amazon Alexa Echo Dot, and it's one of the cheaper ones, and I'm literally obsessed with this thing. So basically, the reason why I bought an Amazon Alexa in the first place was inspired by one of my friends, Tiffany, and I'll link her channel right here. But basically, a big challenge that I had was I always was glued to my phone, and whenever I woke up in the morning, the first thing that I would do was check my phone as well. And what Tiffany helped me with is she told me to buy a Google Smart Home or an Amazon Alexa and use it as an alarm clock instead, so that I can put my phone somewhere else and even turn it off overnight so that I'm not tempted to check my texts or my emails or social media the first thing when I wake up. Now, some of you guys might be wondering, Vanessa, why did you buy an Amazon Alexa if you could have just bought an alarm clock? Well, I definitely could have done that. However, with the Amazon Alexa, I'm able to do so much more. For example, one of my favorite features is linking Alexa to my Google Calendar, and when I wake up in the morning, I ask Alexa, how does my day look like? And she'll actually read out every single meeting that I have so that I can feel prepared going into the working day. Not only this, I've also turned my office/bedroom into a smart home, meaning that I can just simply tell Alexa to turn on my lights and she'll do it for me. And I know that it sounds very lazy of me, but it honestly has saved me so much time, especially when I'm in bed and I don't want to get out of bed. I can simply tell Alexa to turn off all my lights. Now, some of you guys might be wondering, how exactly do you turn your bedroom or your office into a smart home? And it honestly isn't as complicated as you think. All it takes is buying smart plugs just like this one that have kind of like an on and off button here. And what it does is that this will actually speak to your Alexa, and anything that is plugged into this outlet is automatically going to turn into something that is smart. So for me, I have my office lamp attached to a plug like this. I have my floor lamp attached to a plug like this. And I also have my night lamp that is attached to this. And for a while, I also had my hair curler attached to this. So all I had to say was, Alexa, turn on my hair curler. And she would turn it on, and it was super fun. But anyways, what I'm trying to say is that little things like this really have helped me become a little bit more productive, and has also helped me save a lot of time. So if you are someone who is in the market for something that is just a little bit fun to have, that will really save you a little bit of time, I highly recommend getting an Amazon Alexa. Now, on the topic of the reason why I bought my Amazon Alexa was really to be used as an alarm clock so that when I woke up, I wasn't glued to my phone. Well, I want you to remember that earlier on in this video, I mentioned how I wasn't someone who typically wakes up at 5 a.m. And the reason for this is because I am naturally a night owl. However, unfortunately, society doesn't really benefit us night owls. All of my meetings need to be earlier in the day. I need to benefit from the daylight in order to film my YouTube videos. So naturally, there are some days where I really do need to wake up at 5 or 6 a.m. That being said, the next hack that I have for you is gonna sound super gimmicky, but I swear it works. On the days that I do need to get up early, what I do is I put a spray bottle near my alarm clock. Yes, you heard me right. I am honestly someone that could sleep for 10 to 12 hours a day. I've always had issues with waking up early in the morning. And so for me, I finally found a way to tackle this, and I've tried a lot of things, and this seems to be the only thing that truly works for me. And that is having a spray bottle near my alarm clock so that when the moment my alarm clock rings, I take the spray bottle and I spray my face. And the moment my face is sprayed with water or with mist or with a toner, I immediately wake up. Now, I first started to use this hack when I was working in corporate and I needed to wake up early, obviously, to go to work. So what I had was a traditional spray bottle with water, and what I would do is I would just mist my face with water. But over time, I've gotten a little bit more creative, and now I have a lot of different sprays that I use. Now, obviously, I don't want to turn this video into a beauty tutorial, but here are some of my recommendations. Like, I like to use Pixie. Now, during the times where my skin is really dry, I'll wake myself up with this mist, which is basically a hyaluronic acid, and it allows me to have a super, super soft skin. During the summer, Entrepreneur, I like to use this one. This is one of my newer ones. It's from Pixie as well. It's called the Wake Up Vitamin Mist, and what it does is it kind of tones my face and also wakes me up. Like there's a tingly feeling after I use this. And then also I use Urban Decay's B6 as well on the days where I just want to have even more mist on my face. So this one is a little bit more intense than these two, but basically this has vitamin B6 in it and it just gives my face vitamins. So if I'm gonna spray myself with water in the morning, why not just upgrade myself to make my skin beautiful as I wake up? Now, obviously the trick here is you gotta spray your face the moment your alarm rings so you don't hit snooze and you spray your face so hard that you can't even go back to sleep. Now, I know some of you guys might be like, what the heck? I thought I signed up for a productivity video. Why am I getting these gimmicks and these hacks and all these things? Well, the reason why I'm sharing it with you guys is because I'm someone who is really busy and I've always struggled with waking up early, with sleeping well, with finding time to consume content so that I can learn and grow as a person. And these are things that have just really worked for me. There is no, mindset trick or life-changing routine. These are hacks that I actually use. Now, on the topic of sleeping and everything like that, I am someone who's also struggled a lot with sleep. I don't sleep until 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. And I think the reason for this is because as a content creator, as an online entrepreneur, I am always on social media. I'm always on my phone. And I think that because of all the blue screen and all the activity, naturally, it's really hard for me to fall asleep. That's why the next hack that I want to share with you is something that has actually helped me in the last few months, and that is taking magnesium pills before I go to bed. Now, obviously, I'm not a naturopath. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a scientist. I don't know much about supplements, but someone did recommend this to me in order to help me wake up to feel well rested and also help me sleep a little better, and it has actually worked. So before I go to bed, maybe about an hour or two, I will take 2 pills of this, and what I found is when I wake up in the morning, I don't feel as groggy, and I'm also able to achieve deep sleep a lot faster. So this has really helped me lately in terms of getting better sleep, and I've noticed with this, coupled with spraying my face and everything like that, it's really helped me to become more of a morning person, even though I'm technically hacking my way through it. Now, obviously, anything related to medicine, health, supplements, all that stuff, make sure you are doing your own due diligence and Googling this. I've done that for myself based on my lifestyle and my health, and I found that it is safe for me, but it might not be the same for you. So make sure you are doing your due diligence. Now, so far in this video, we've been talking a lot about sleep, and there's a reason for this. As you get busier as an entrepreneur or even as a content creator, you're not going to prioritize sleep anymore. And the problem is that over time, if you're not getting your full 8 hours of sleep every single day, you're going to start to see the quality of your work decrease, and that absolutely sucks. That's why the next hack that I have that is still related to you getting better sleep is wearing blue blockers. Now, when you wear blue blockers about 3 to 4 hours before you go to sleep, you're going to be able to block all of the blue light that comes from your TV, your smartphone, your monitors, even your general lights. And what that's going to do is that it's going to increase your melatonin levels so that you can sleep a lot faster and get better quality sleep. So as a digital entrepreneur, I'm always staring at my screen, and like I said earlier in this video, because I always stare at a screen, it's been really hard for me to fall asleep, and therefore I sleep super late, and over time it becomes a habit, and therefore I really don't get good sleep. So ever since implementing the blue blockers, the magnesium pills, and also obviously my little hack of spraying my face in the morning, it's really combed me to become a more of a morning person, and that allows me to fit a little bit more in my day, especially when it comes to filming YouTube videos. Now, off of the topic of sleeping and now talking about actual work, the next hack that I have for you that's truly helped me become a little bit more efficient and a little bit more productive is having a dual screen monitor. Now, as you can see from all of my YouTube videos, or at least most of my YouTube videos, you see that I have another monitor in the back. And this is actually the second screen that I have that I plug into my MacBook. So when I'm working, I not only have the screen of my MacBook, but I also have the screen of my monitor. And honestly, it doesn't cost too much. You can find a used monitor anywhere, even on, eBay, Kijiji, or Craigslist. And what you can do is buy a simple adapter and plug your MacBook with this monitor together so that you can either have your screen blown up largely, or you can have 2 screens activating at once. By having a dual monitor, it obviously allows me to multitask and also get some things done a lot faster and more efficiently. For example, when I'm on client calls, I'm not just on Zoom with my client on my MacBook, but I'm also looking at my dual monitor, referencing the things that we're talking about, showing her files, all of these things. Or even when I'm scripting my videos on one monitor, I'm writing my script on the other, maybe I'm doing some research. Even when I was editing my videos on one monitor, I would have my iMovie up, and then on the second monitor, I would be maybe on Google getting images and all these things. So I really highly recommend to get a second monitor if you are a busy entrepreneur, because it's really gonna save your time and make your life so much easier to allow yourself to multitask and also get stuff done a lot more efficiently and faster. Now, the 8th hack that I have for you is something that my mentor, Erin, taught me when she was coaching me to become a more efficient entrepreneur. And that is to treat your business like a real organization. And what I mean by this is what you want to do is see your business as a real organization with multiple departments. So for example, in my business, I have a department called the CEO department. And underneath this department, I'm going to list down all the things that a CEO does. So for example, the CEO is the visionary, meaning that I'm probably reading books, I'm probably doing some competitor analyses, I'm probably out there networking, I'm probably doing a lot of the strategic work in order to move the business forward and for me to strategize and get cool ideas from external resources that I can implement back in my business. Now, on top of the CEO department, I need to ask myself, what are the other departments within my business? Maybe there's a sales department, and within the sales department, it's all about doing sales calls. Maybe it's refining my sales process. Maybe it's practicing my sales training, all of that stuff. Another department in my business could be a PR department. Maybe that's when there's a community engagement underneath. Maybe there's also reaching out to other influencers or entrepreneurs to collaborate, all these things. Essentially, what you want to do is list down all the departments that are within your business. Now, after you've done that, you then assign each day of the week to a certain department. For example, every Sunday is my CEO day, and that's when I allow myself to listen to podcasts, to read books, to watch educational documentaries in order to spark my creativity and allow that innovation to happen so that I can create a good vision for my business. Then maybe on Mondays, it's my client days. These are the days where I have my coaching department and I only take all my client calls on Monday. On Tuesday, maybe that's my sales day, and I only take discovery calls or sales calls on Tuesdays alone. I also have a YouTube day, so every Thursday, that's when I do anything and everything that falls under the YouTube umbrella, such as filming videos, scripting videos, organizing videos, all of that. Basically, the idea is that instead of spreading yourself thin and trying to do everything all at once, what's gonna happen is you're only gonna end up doing 10% within each department. However, if you allocate an entire day to a specific department, you're gonna at least be able to finish 80 to 90% of all the things that need to be done within that cohort. So at the end of the day, you're gonna feel a lot more accomplished rather trying to put your feet into every single thing and not really getting anything done at all. That's why if you are someone who struggles with organization and at the end of the week, you're always feeling defeated that you're not really moving the needle in the business, I highly recommend that you reframe your schedule or your calendar this way, because personally for me, I feel a lot more accomplished in my business knowing that at least a full department is done and I don't really have to worry about it for the rest of the week. Now, speaking of departments and all these projects within your business that need to get done, the 9th tip or tool that I have for you is using a project management system called Asana. Now, Asana is basically a place where I organize my entire YouTube workflow, and if you want to learn more about that, make sure you check out this video right here. And it's a place where I organize all of my projects and the things that need to be done both in the short term and in the long term with my team. Again, like I said earlier, if you really want to take a behind the scenes look of my entire Asana project planning, make sure you check out this video right here where I go really in depth, I share my screen, and I go through it all. Now, with that out of the way, something that I did mention was having a team, which leads me to the 10th productivity hack that I have for you, and that is outsourcing. Now, a common question that I get is, Vanessa, how do I know when I'm ready to hire someone on my team? Now, for me, what I like to tell people is the moment you see yourself making really silly mistakes is probably a good indication that you need some help. In my case, at some point, I was sending the wrong files to clients, I was late on my videos, just simple mistakes that should not have happened. And then that's when I realized I really needed the helping hand. And since then, I now have 3 people on my team. I have my assistant, who helps me a lot with the administrative roles within my business. I have my video editor, who obviously does the editing for these videos. And I recently hired an online business manager that basically acts as a project manager to keep everything organized within my business and also communicates with the rest of the team so that for me as the business owner, I can focus on doing the things that I do best, which is creating content, coaching my clients, and being a great course instructor to my students. Now, if you want more videos about outsourcing or what it's like having a team or anything related to this topic, make sure you thumbs up this video or leave a comment below so that I know to make those videos in the future. With that being said, it's so exciting that this video was actually sponsored by Blinkist, and that's why in my next video, I really want you to hit the notification bell because I'm gonna walk you through how you can actually land brand deals and partnerships with big brands. So if you're interested in learning about this, because I have a feeling many of you are, make sure you hit that notification bell so you don't miss it. Anyways, guys, I really hope that you enjoyed today's video where I literally gave you 10 no BS hacks on how I stay efficient and stay productive in my business. Make sure you leave a comment and tell me which one was your favorite. As always, guys, I hope you guys have a great day, a great week, and a great life, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.